NMESC 2022 is presented to you by Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, University of the Philippines Student Unit.
Co-presented by Prime Mechanical Engineering Review Center, Zion Studios PH,
UNILAB Incorporated, Enervon Multivitamins, brought to you by Davies Paint Philippines Incorporated,
our media partners, SparkUp,
our community partners, Bataan Peninsula State University Society of Mechanical Engineering Students, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Cavite Chapter, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, De La Salle University, Dasmariñas, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Don Mariana Marcos Memorial State University, Bidlo Union Campus Student Unit, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Emilio Aguinaldo College, Cavite, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Maragondon Branch,
Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Alfonso Campus, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, USTP Chapter, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Xavier University Chapter, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Technological Institute of the Philippines Student Unit, Manila, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Technological University of the Philippines Student Unit, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Camarines Norte State College Student Unit,
Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Colegio de Muntinlupa Student Unit, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Bicol University Student Unit, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Lyceum of the Philippines University, Cavite Student Chapter, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, National University Student Unit, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila Student Unit, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Pangasinan State University Student Unit,
Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, PUP Student Unit, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Sorsogon State University Student Unit, Sorsogon Chapter, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Tarlac State University Student Chapter, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, University of Batangas Student Chapter, UP Geodetic Engineering Club, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Sorsogon State University Student Unit, Sorsogon Chapter. And a special thanks to UP Mining Metallurgical and Materials Engineering Association Incorporation.
Nathaniel Beaver A. Mendoza from St. Louis University. I am here to cheer and encourage our next board exams takers. Alam ko, marami dyan ang natatakot, nagdadalawang isip, napanghihinaan ng loob. I'd like to say that all of those are valid. Totoo yan, naranasan ko rin yan noong una. But, don't let it eat away all of your time. Walang mangyayari kung palagi tayong magpapaanino sa mga negative thoughts natin. Kailangan natin kumilos and make the best of our time if you really want to succeed. Don't wish for it, make it happen. O kaya, nasa Diyos ang awa, nasa tao ang gawa. Kung tips sa review ang kailangan nyo, sabi ko, magkaroon kayo ng time management. Si Prime kasi araw-araw yung may lecture, araw-araw may isosolve, ganyan. Huwag rin kayong sana ma-overwhelm sa program ng Prime. Kasi talagang kailangan yan. Marami pa sana akong gustong sabihin, pero I leave that for you to discover. Lalo sa techniques, tuturo yan lahat ng Prime sa inyo. Magaling silang magturo. So anyway, gusto ko sanang magpasalamat sa pamilya ko, sa kanilang walang tigil na suporta, sa SLU ME Department at Prime Review na ibinuhos lahat ng knowledge at wisdom sa amin para mapagtagumpayan itong board exams. And most importantly, kay God na nag-guide sa atin. Thank you, God bless, lakad matatag.
Ako po si Christian Justin Sese, and I'm here to tell you how did I manage to get here even though na pandemic tapos puro online po yung review natin. Marami pong factors na consider, and malaki pong factor talaga na tumulong is yung Prime Review Center with the help of LearnHub PH app. As we all know, sobrang dami kailangan pagkaraan sa board exam, and from experience, so as much as possible, memorize mo lahat ng formulas, concepts, and elements. But Prime Review Center was able to cover this. We were able to tackle these major concepts, elements, and formulas in a very systematic pacing. Tapos, yung mga calculator techniques, shortcuts na formulas, in different kinds of subjects, natutunan ko lang sila dito actually. Pero yung Prime Review Center talaga, binigay nila, hindi sila selfish. We also noticed yung mga videos na ina-upload nila sobrang detailed. Like, matututo ka talaga. Like, step-by-step solution, ibibigay nila. Yung mga problems na sobrang hirap na parang ang dali lang kapag sinolve, ibibigay nila. Yung pag nakakita ka ng ganitong problem, paano isosolve to, anong unang gagawin, di-discuss nila kung paano. Yung mga shortcuts, tips, and kung paano isosolve yung ganitong problem, di-discuss din nila doon. And kikita mo talaga na yung mga instructors and teachers na nagtuturo sa voiceover ng video, experience talaga. And sobrang dami namin natutunan sa kanila. And Prime Review made this possible, and we are very grateful kasi bumibilis kami mag-solve na dati parang 5 minutes per problem, parang 2 minutes na lang ngayon or 1 minute even. Sundan yung program ng Prime. I was able to make it. Kaya we are very grateful for them teaching us.
Ang ating pong review ay online. At kung tayo man po ay may pangamba dahil dito, sana po alisin natin ang anumang pag-aalinlangan sapagkat si Prime naman po ay ibibigay lahat ng ating kailangan para tayo ay maging handa sa darating na eksaminasyon. Ganyan din naman po ako nung kami ay nag-review ng online na may pag-aalinlangan. Ngunit sa awa ng Diyos, sa tulong ng Prime, at sa pagsisikap, tayo po ay nakapasa. Which is, yun naman po ang gusto nating lahat. So, magtiwala lang po tayo and do our very best during the review. At tinitiyak ko po sa inyo na after ng ating review and refresher dito, ay sapat ang ating kakayahan para sa ating darating na board exam. Good luck, God bless, and have a nice day.
Okay, so good day sa inyo lahat. Ako pala si Engineer Marvin Ferrer, ang top 4 ng last Mechanical Engineering Board Exam which was held noong August 2021. And andito kami para ibahagi sa inyo yung mga kung paano nakatulong itong si Prime Review Center na yun nga dahil sa pandemic, nag-online review na lang tayo ngayon. So unang-una dito is napaka-flexible na pag-review. Kung gusto mong mag-review ng gabi, pwede. Kung gusto mong mag-review sa Starbucks, pwede. Kasi pwede mong i-download or kunwari, basta may wifi ka, pwede mong panoorin at sagutan yung mga assessment, mga videos, anytime, anywhere na gusto mo. Besides dito, syempre, napakarami mga formula, mga elements na kayo may memorize, diba? dito bibigyan ka rin ng mga tips and tricks, mga techniques kung paano mas ma-memorize yung mga kailangan mong kabisaduhin, mas ma-retain itong mga to. Mga index card, di ba? Ayan. Dahil nga di sa Prime is hindi lang ako naging engineer, naging top notcher, di ba? So, yun, napakalaking tulong talaga ng Prime Review Center na ito kahit na pandemic. Thank you ulit sa Prime and napakalaking tulong nyo and sana mas madami pa yung matulungan na magiging soon-to-be engineers and thank you sa pakikinig and ingat kayo.
Magandang araw po sa ating lahat. Ako po si Engineer Emmanuel Villasin. Unang-una po, gusto kong pasalamat sa Prime Review Center sa pagbibigay po ng tulong at suporta sa ating mga future mechanical engineers. Para po sa mga magre-review pa lamang at mag-take pa lang po ng board exams, ang masasabi ko lang po is review smarter, not harder. Kailangan po muna nating alamin yung mga weaknesses natin bago po tayo mag-focus sa other topics. At since online review nga po ito, kailangan po natin magkaroon ng disiplina dahil wala po nagbabantay sa atin sa bahay. At kailangan po natin maglaan ng enough time to review. Sabihin na natin around 2 to 3 hours a day na pagsusolve po ng dire-diretso. Hiwalay po po yun dun sa assessment na binibigay po ng Prime. At huwag na huwag po tayo magpapanik dahil kapag nagpanik po tayo, meron pong chance na baka makalimutan po natin lahat ng mga na-memorize na natin. And lastly, huwag po natin kalimutang magdasal at humingi ng guidance. Yun lamang po. Good luck sa ating lahat. And God bless po.
Ayan. So, hello po sa inyong lahat, sa mga future engineers out there. Ayan. So, today gusto ko lang kayong i-inspire, i-encourage, at magbigay na rin ng ibang tips na nagamit ko sa pagre-review. And so, siguro marami sa atin dyan naninibago at nag-a-adjust pa sa online setup ng review. Ayan. Pero huwag kayong mag-alala kasi it really works, guys. Yung program ng Prime, kita naman sa amin, mismong byproduct kami ng program na yan. And so, tsagain lang natin, talagang sundan din natin yung mga advice ng mga lecturers natin. So, yun yung unang tip. Sundin natin yung mga advice nila, like pagsulat sa index card, repetition ng formulas, and also mnemonics. Sobrang mahalaga na. Laking tulong sa akin yan. Promise. And also, tsagain natin yung mga 100 problems every day. May mga problems talaga na hindi natin alam i-solve, pero huwag kang madi-discourage kasi the next day, may solution naman. Aralin na lang natin yon. And then, lalong-lalo yung mga assessments, guys, tsagain natin yan. Tsinaga ko talagang finish ko na aralin lahat ng hindi ko alam i-solve. Sinulat-sulat ko lahat yan. Inulit-ulit ko. And eventually, ayan, it really helped me a lot. Nakapasa naman tayo and nakaabot pa sa top 10. Ayan. So, talagang diskartehan lang natin yan, tsagain. And also, pinakamahalaga is araw-araw na manalangin, humingi ng tulong kay God. And bibigyan niya naman tayo ng strength and ng wisdom. Basta humingi lang tayo sa Kanya. Ayan. So, hopefully, na-inspire kayo doon and sana makatulong. Sabi nga nung isang great philosopher, pag may goal ka, focus, success. Ayan. So, God bless po sa inyong lahat.
Good day everyone. I'm Engineer Dinglasan. Recently, nag-top 9 sa Mechanical Engineering Licensure Exam last August 2021. First of all, let us thank the Lord for this opportunity na binigay niya sa atin na makapag-review at makapagbigay ako sa inyo ng konting advices lang sa inyong mga review classes. So, kung kayo ay napapagod, natatakot, nangangamba, kung worth it ba ito, through the end, syempre yes, magiging engineer ka sa dulo eh. Masaya kaya maging engineer. Tapos, yun nga, every hardship ay merong kapalit na maganda sa dulo. Gusto ko lang kayo iwanan ng konting Bible verse from Philippians chapter 4 verses 13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So, kung kayo nangangamba, napapagod niya, napapagod, tinatamad, nandiyan lagi si Lord para gabayan tayo. Ako, talagang humingi ako ng kay Lord, ng encouragement, talagang humingi ako kay Lord ng dasal ako ng dasal sa throughout review, through the board exam, kahit yung board exam itself. After the board exam talaga nagpapasalamat ako kay Lord na ginabayan niya ako talaga. Kaya yun, kailangan nyo lang talaga ng seek guidance through the Lord. Huwag matatakot. Good luck and God bless. Stay safe po sa atin. Thank you very much.
Passing the board is one of the greatest achievements that an average person like me can achieve. Topping it is a dream that only few gets to achieve. I myself never thought I'd be in this position, yet here I am. With passion to engineering, I get to boost my morale despite all negativities. With hard work and perseverance, I get to challenge myself and know my weakness and capabilities. With prayer, I get to know myself and what kind of engineer would I become. Magiging mechanical engineer ako. Claim it and receive it by faith. This what kept me going through the journey of becoming the top 10 of the August 2021 Mechanical Board Exam. At basta, magtitiwala ka lang sa mga turo ni Prime.
Hanggang malakas pa ako, lagi akong tutulong. Natural lang sa akin ang maging maalagain, kaya ako naging NICU nurse. Tinuro ng tatay ko na tulungan mo yung higit na nangangailangan. 20 years din ako sa abroad, pero umuwi din ako para sa pamilya ko. Mahirap magtrabaho abroad dahil mapalayo ka sa mga mahal mo sa buhay. Kaya I retired early to take care of them. Nung pandemic, nakita ko yung mga senior sa amin na nangailangan ng tulong. Naalala ko na naman yung tatay ko. Para ready akong tumulong lagi, may emergency pouch ako, may biogesic para sa sakit ng ulo, at may Immune Pro at 40D para sa vitamins at supplements. Ay subok na subok sa tagal na nitong ginagamit ng pamilya ko. Binabaon ko pa nga yan nung nasa Saudi ako. Kasi yan ang hiyang sa akin. Kahit ngayon, trusted ko pa rin ito para sa pamilya ko at para sa mga seniors na pamilya ko na rin. Para sa akin, ang alagang UNILAB ay alagang di ka bibitawan at di ka pababayaan.
Alagang UNILAB yan.
Mahirap ang madilim. Kaya kung makakatulong tayo magbigay ng liwanag, bakit hindi? Nung nabalik po namin ang kuryente sa Leyte, nagkailaw lahat pagkatapos ng malakas na bagyo. Sobrang saya ko. Mahirap ang ganitong trabaho. Dapat alaga ka sa katawan mo. Kaya lagi akong may bawang Enerbon para may tulong pampalakas. Pag nagkasakit naman, Bioflow sa trangkaso. At pag may ubo, Solmux, yan ang inaabot ni nanay lagi. Siya kasi ang nag-aalaga sa akin. Sa kanya ko rin nalaman yung mga gamot ng UNILAB. Sabi niya, maaasahan yun. Iba talaga yung sayang dala ng trabaho namin. Kaya naman, importante sa akin ang aking kalusugan para mas makapagtrabaho pa, para maraming matulungan at mapasaya. Para sa akin, ang alagang UNILAB ay alagang may mabibigay ka sa iba. Alagang nagbibigay ng liwanag at saya sa mga tao.
Alagang UNILAB yan.
Kapag atleta ka, team effort talaga yan. Dahil pag may kasama ako, kampante ako. Para manalo, kailangan ko ng tulong ng iba. Bukod sa sumusuporta, meron din nag-aalaga, katulad ng UNILAB. Kahit wala pa akong gold medal, pinagkatiwalaan nila ako. Sa sakit ng katawan, nag-aalaksan po ako. Kung may sipon, Yusef agad. Pag nangangasim ng sipmura, Cremeles ang gamit ko. Hindi madali ang training namin eh. Nagda-doubt ako sa buhat ko, nagda-doubt ako sa sarili ko. Pero kailangan talaga may dream ka. Ang alagang UNILAB, kasama ko noon. Ngayon nga, nagka-gold na ako. Nagpatayo ako ng gym sa Zamboanga. Nagbigay kami ng oportunidad na makapag-train sila together with me. Lahat ng experience ko as an athlete, kailangan kong ibahagi sa kanila. Feeling ko kasi, kailangan kong i-share ang alagang nakuha ko.
Alagang UNILAB yan.
Kapag
Ayan. Good evening. Good evening, everyone.
You okay?
Pagod na yan.
I feel you.
Yan na.
Don't worry.
How are you guys doing? I hope you're all excited because this is the last day of our NMESC 2022. And for the past few days, we were on a world tour. We went to France and got banned there. We also went to Korea and Japan and also got banned there. We also went to New Zealand, but we managed to not get banned. Pero for today, we are going back to our very own country, syempre, the Philippines.
As you can see here, Gab is very tired because, as you know, when you travel the world, you're gonna get very tired. But you know what I'm gonna miss about all those places, Gab? It's the
Oo.
climate. The climate. Absolutely gorgeous there.
Bakit naman, Ram? Tell us what you like about sa climate sa ibang bansa.
Well, for starters, they have more than 2 seasons. Meanwhile, sa amin naman, like, it's either you're gonna get wet due to the heavy rains or you're gonna sweat to death due to the heat.
Yes, tama ka dyan. Napakahasal nga naman kapag nababasa ka kapag umulan at pinagpapawisan kapag umiinit. Pero alam mo, dapat lagi tayong ready. Alam mo kung anong dapat natin dala every day. Every day. Siyempre, dapat lagi tayong may dala na Peace Merch shirt. Kaya naman, don't forget to answer our form for Peace Merch. Kaya you can check out our forms in the comment section or in the caption and get your very own Peace Merch shirt. Yan, take it away, Ram.
Yeah, okay, guys. We tried very hard with that spiel. So, yun, as Gab said, please buy some shirts. So, back to the main topic. We are very excited to learn about what our speaker has in store for us today. But before all of that, let us introduce ourselves again. I am Ram.
And I'm your host, Gab, and together we are welcoming everyone to the National Mechanical Engineering Students Convergence 2022 Crank Up Seeing New Perspectives Day 5.
This is brought to you by the Philippine Society
No.
Mechanical Engineers,
Gosh.
University of the Philippines Student Unit, in celebration of PSME Month 2022, engage Rethinking Philippines. He is a licensed mechanical engineer who graduated from BS Mechanical Engineering from Mindanao University of Science and Technology. He attained both his master's and doctorate degrees in mechanical engineering from the Mindanao State University, Iligan Institute of Technology, and he's involved in multiple projects such as developing air handling systems for COVID and biogas systems for slaughterhouses and backyard scale farms.
Ako kinabahan tayo doon. Dahil nga nagbalik na tayo sa Pilipinas, alam na nating mabagal ang wifi na.
Oh my God,
But
this is how
yes,
far today
again.
is.
Okay lang naman.
Sige.
Again, he is currently working as the research center head for the Center for Biomass Energy in the University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines, Cagayan de Oro campus. He is here to talk about biomass and energy engineering. Everyone send in some heart reacts for Dr. Antonio-Abdu Magomnang. Yan. Once Dr. Magomnang is finished with their talk, we will have a short break before proceeding with our Q&A. So without further ado, send in some heart reacts in the stream for Dr. Magomnang.
Take it away, Doc.
Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. I'm Sam Magomnang from the University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines. Will be your short speaker for this evening. for the topic Biomass Energy Engineering. Oh, well, parang nasa Pilipinas tayo. I'm experiencing technical glitch at my end. Yeah, sorry for that. So parang nasa Pilipinas talaga tayo ngayon. We can see the realities of internet connection as said by Gab and Ram. So good evening, everyone. I'm Antonio Magomnang from the University of Science and Technology of Southern Philippines. We'll present to you the biomass energy engineering. So as an overview, all will start with biomass. Biomass includes all carbonaceous plant and animal material that results from agricultural and animal production operations. So if you have a rice production, meron yung mga byproducts such as rice straw, rice stalk. If we talk about animal manure operations, meron tayong mga waste from manures, sorry for that, and other byproducts from animal production operations. The use of biomass fuel for transportation and electricity generation is increasing in many developed countries as a means of, reducing carbon dioxide emissions from fossil fuel use. But the question is, why is it Philippines not adopting it? We have technologies developed by our Department of Science and Technology, but it seems to be undersubscribed because it needs to be popularized. It needs to be disseminated to our fellow mechanical engineers, wherein kayo yung next na the engineers of the future. So we have nearly 30% of the energy for the first 100 million plus people living in the Philippines coming from biomass, and it's mainly used for household cooking by the rural population. So if we can maximize that, if instead of throwing it outright and can be used as potential source of energy, that would be better. Especially in Luzon, I think you're experiencing red grid, and same time yung mga in the Mindanao is we experiencing also blackouts, especially in summer. So in the Philippines energy supply, as you notice, in 2019, based on the Department of Energy data, coal represents 55% of power generation, followed by natural gas, which is 21%, 3% from oil, 10% from geothermal, 8% from hydropower, and 1% for solar and biomass. So if you look in the grid, almost 80% is a non-renewable energy source. Only 25% of it is coming from renewable energy months. So if you notice here in the left, this is the generation of energy from nuclear, natural gas, coal, renewables, and wind to transmit in our household. But if the question is if we are emitting or if we are producing waste that can be used or can we go back as energy, that would be much advantageous to our end. So in the Philippines, we have current biomass technologies. We have bagasse as boiler fuel for cogeneration, rice and coconut husk dryers for craft drying, biomass gasifier for mechanical and electrical applications. We have also fuel wood and agricultural waste for open kilns, furnaces, and cooking stove for cooking and heating applications. Currently, yung biomass talaga is ginagamit for heating and drying applications. As to the volume of facilities in the Philippines, we have rice, coconut, palm oil, sugar, wood industries that are producing 16 million tons per year. Moreover, we have bagasse, coconut husk, and shell that can account for at least 12% of the total annual energy supply. So livestock and poultry farming generates 9 million tons of manure annually. So marami talaga tayong waste. So it's very, kumbaga, frustrating in our end that, we have these technologies developed, we have this waste, but the question is, how can we maximize or how can we convert that? So based on the study from the World Bank, Energy Sector Management, they estimated that residues from sugar, rice, and coconut would produce 90 megawatt, 40 megawatt, and 20 megawatt respectively. So talagang marami talagang mapuproduce natin electricity in that case. But since there is the easiest and the most economical, which is the coal and the oil, parang yun talaga yung parang preference ng negosyante natin ngayon. So, how do we use biomass to generate electricity? So, first, through direct combustion, through thermochemical conversion, through chemical conversion, and biological conversion. So, in this figure, the left, if we have a landfill gas, we can use the methane gas produced directly for heat, power, and electricity applications. For municipal waste, we will use that. It can be either by direct combustion, thermochemical, or chemical conversion, as well as biological, wood, and crop waste. The use of crop residues as biofuels is increasing in the Philippines as fossil fuel prices continuing to rise. So if you're asking what is the initiatives of our government, I think if you heard the TROPA, it was promoted by the Department of Energy way back 1980s, 1990s. But since the TROPA is not, it needs to be grown in huge amount of area, hindi siya nag-prosper. But if we can identify parang the bottleneck kasi ng biome is that it competes to the food. So let's say if we can use the palm oil into biodiesel, parang it used directly as a direct oil rather than into a potential fuel source. So in a direct combustion, it is a thermochemical technique in which the biomass is burned in an open air or in the presence of excess air. In this process, the photosynthetically stored chemical energy of the biomass will be converted into gases. Generally, direct combustion is carried out inside a furnace, steam turbine, or boiler at a temperature range of 800 to 1000 degrees centigrade. So we have the following possible na gamitin. We have the wood pellets, the wood chips, and the wood logs. So we have this biomass power plant. So using wood chips, rice husk, gas. So if you look now in this figure, if we load here and goes directly to boiler for direct heating or for direct use or combustion in that case, it produces the one heat to convert the water into steam and eventually becomes a steam that drives the turbine. And it's being generated electricity to be fed in the grid, and there are some steam that are being condensed and goes back to the boiler. But the problem here is that when we use direct combustion, meron talagang ginatawag natin na mga toxins, yung mga dioxins, parang mga byproducts ng direct combustion, which will be, kumbaga, produce tayo ng energy, but at the same time, we are also contributing to the greenhouse gases. So in this figure, to summarize, a biomass steam boiler is a machine aimed to transform the chemical energy contained in the solid fuel into thermal energy for different uses, whether it will be the production of electricity or heat for industrial process. And these boilers are made up of a heat exchange body between which the gases from combustion circulate and where the energy is transferred into the water that circulates through it and converting it into steam. So in the thermochemical conversion process, it uses a thermal decomposition procedure in which biomass feedstock materials are being heated in a closed pressurized vessels called gasifiers at high temperatures. And it differs now in the process temperatures and amount of oxygen present during the conversion process. So when we say pyrolysis, heating organic materials to 800 to 900 degrees Fahrenheit in the near complete absence of free oxygen. It produces fuels such as charcoal, bio-oil, renewable diesel, methane, and hydrogen. Hydrotreating is the process bio-oil or produced by fast pyrolysis with hydrogen under elevated temperatures and pressures in the presence of a catalyst to produce an renewable diesel, renewable gasoline, and renewable jet fuel. And last of the thermochemical conversion is the gasification, wherein heating organic materials up to 1070 degrees Fahrenheit or up to 900 degrees centigrade with injections of controlled amount of free oxygen and or steam in the vessel to produce a carbon monoxide and hydrogen-rich gas called synthesis gas or syngas gas. So personally, parang mas madali yung pyrolysis, but the problem is how can you maintain 400 to 500 degrees centigrade when in fact your biomass will tend to increase the temperature of the process. So third one is the carbonation, the chemical conversion technology. It heats biomass to obtain gas, liquid, and solid products under air-free, air-limited conditions. So we have the agro waste, the green waste, yung mga sewage sludge, as well as the green algae. So through hydrothermal carbonization and microwave-assisted thermal process, it can produce three: the solid, which is the hydrochar, the liquid is the bio-oil, which can be converted into a biofuel through transesterification process, if it is preferred to becomes a biodiesel. And hydrochar can be used as soil conditioner, used as direct energy, manure, and wastewater treatment. And byproducts are obtained by condensation, recycling, and processing of the gas mixture that is generated from the pyrolysis. So in the gasification or the chemical conversion technology, it converts the combustible parts of the biomass into flammable gas, mainly hydrogen, carbon dioxide, and methane at the high temperatures using oxygen or oxygenates in the air as gasification agents. And due to this, properties of high volatile components, high carbon activity, and low sulfur and ash of biogas. So we have three terms: the volatile hybridization, wherein methane and other hydrocarbons are being produced from the biomass by the action of heat, which leaves a reactive char. Combustion, volatiles and char are partially burned in air or oxygen to generate heat and carbon dioxide. Reduction, carbon dioxide absorbs heat and reacts with the remaining char to produce carbon monoxide or producer gas. So what are the four processes in the gasification process? We have the drying, the pyrolysis, the combustion, and the reduction. And the gasifier is essentially a chemical reactor where various complex physical and chemical processes takes place. Biomass gets dried, heated, pyrolyzed, partially oxidized, and reduced in the reactor as it flows through it. There are four distinct processes take place as mentioned earlier. So parang mangyari is if you have a biomass na dried muna niya, after being dried, it now being undergoes pyrolysis and it undergoes combustion, and lastly is the reduction process. So in the biological conversion process, or like anaerobic digestion, can produce clean energy in the form of biogas, which can be converted to power and heat using a gas engine unit. Anaerobic digestion is a series of chemical reactions which we don't, sorry for the term, see outright, during which organic material is decomposed through the metabolic pathways of naturally occurring microorganisms in an oxygen-depleting environment. So pag meron talagang oxygen dyan, mahirap yan, hindi yan magiging biogas. Because if you look now in the figure on the left, it undergoes hydrolysis, wherein it binibreak to yung complex organic matter, such as carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, to ferment through acidogenesis, wherein the soluble organic molecules, sugars, amino acids, and fatty acids being broken down into volatile fatty acids, acetic acid, and the carbonic acid. And lastly is the methanogenesis, wherein carbon dioxide and methane is being produced as product. So anaerobic digestion is a process through which bacteria breaks down organic matter such as animal manure, wastewater biosolids, and food waste in the absence of oxygen. Anaerobic digestion for biogas production takes place in a sealed vessel called reactor, which is designed and constructed in various shapes and sizes specific to the site and feedstock conditions. So if we look now in the figure on the right, we have following biomass sources that can be used for anaerobic digestion. We have the manure, can be a dairy, beef, swine, and poultry. We have also the wastewater biosolids. We have the municipal sewage sludge, food waste, the household, restaurant, cafeteria, and other food products, and other organics, energy crops, fats, oils, grease, crop residue from winery and brewery waste. Through anaerobic digestion, it produces biogas. And this biogas can be used for electricity, heat, vehicle fuel, renewable gas. But the one of its byproduct is a digestate. And this digestate can be used as organic fertilizer, as used for animal bedding, and other products, as well as crop irrigation. So what will be the output of the anaerobic digester? So if we look in the figure on the right, we have the dung and urine being stored in a reactor called biodigester, and it produces biogas for cooking, lighting, or electricity applications. But its byproducts being used as biofertilizer that can be used as fodder for the cow, pig, and other animal products. So, as to the composition, methane is 50 to 75%, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen sulfide, water vapor, and trace amounts of other gases. The energy in biogas can be used like natural gas, provide heat, generate electricity, and power cooling systems, among other uses. Biogas can also be purified by removing the inert or low-value constituents such as CO2, water, H2S, and others to generate renewable natural gas or RNG. So digestate. Digestate is a residual material left after the digestion process. It has a composition of liquid and solid partitions and can be used as animal bedding if it's solids, nutrient-rich fertilizer for liquid and solids, foundation material for bio-based materials like bioplastic, and organic-rich compost if it is in solid form, soil amendment, and on the field as fertilizer. Digested products can be as a source of revenue or cost savings and are often pursued to increase the financial and net environmental benefit of an anaerobic digester or a biogas project. The Center for Biomass Energy conducted study regarding the biogas production. So we have a meeting last January 2021 with the City Cagayan de Oro Council, represented by the City Economic Enterprise Development, that form a technical working group in a mandate to address problem in the Cagayan de Oro slaughterhouse regarding the discharge of their effluent. So the wastewater treatment system here is inadequate, that causes foul odor to the surroundings and also affects the effluent quality. So if you look into the figure on the right, this is the pit of the slaughterhouse where all the biosolids, the intestine, manure, and among others being stored here. And the technical working group decided to establish a biogas digester as a waste management option for the slaughterhouse. So this is the experimental setup conducted for the co-digestion of slaughterhouse waste, such as pig manure, sludge, and wastewater. And that's all for the biomass energy engineering.
Okay. So once again, we'd like to thank Doc Magomnang for that wonderful talk. And personally, I'm actually curious how that would work on an urban setting because I'm sure, like, one of the things I think about when I think of biogas is the smell. So I'm actually wondering if you ever put a plant near like where people live. Like, sure, they'll get like renewable energy, but I'm actually curious how the smell situation would work there.
Marami pa naman sa mga not saying, but it's a common issue, common concern, rather.
Yeah, like there are pros and
for
cons.
Filipinos.
Yeah, I guess one person's trash is another person's energy and all that naman, diba? All right, that is a great
Yeah,
takeaway.
Now, we are sure na marami kayong mga tanong for Sir Sam, so make sure to use our Menti.
Just like always, you go to menti.com and type in the code 41150522 to ask all your questions. But before we proceed, we would like to once again thank our sponsors and partners. So we will be seeing you guys in a bit. NMESC 2022 is presented to you by Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, University of the Philippines Student Unit.
Co-presented by Prime Mechanical Engineering Review Center, Zion Studios PH,
UNILAB Incorporated, Enervon Multivitamins, brought to you by Davies Paint Philippines Incorporated,
our media partners, SparkUp,
our community partners, Bataan Peninsula State University Society of Mechanical Engineering Students, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Cavite Chapter, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, De La Salle University, Dasmariñas, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Don Mariano Marcos Memorial State University, Bidlo Union Campus Student Unit, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Emilio Aguinaldo College, Cavite, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Maragondon Branch,
Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Alfonso Campus, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, USTP Chapter, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Xavier University Chapter, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Technological Institute of the Philippines Student Unit, Manila, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Technological University of the Philippines Student Unit, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Camarines Norte State College Student Unit,
Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, 𝐂𝐸𝐿 de Muntinlupa Student Unit, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Bicol University Student Unit, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Lyceum of the Philippines University, Cavite Student Chapter, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, National University Student Unit, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila Student Unit, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Pangasinan State University Student Unit,
Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, PUP Student Unit, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Sorsogon State University Student Unit, Sorsogon Chapter, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Tarlac State University Student Chapter, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, University of Batangas Student Chapter, UP Geodetic Engineering Club, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Sorsogon State University Student Unit, Sorsogon Chapter. And a special thanks to UP Mining Metallurgical and Materials Engineering Association Incorporation.
NMESC 2022 is presented to you by Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, University of the Philippines Student Unit.
Co-presented by Prime Mechanical Engineering Review Center. Zion Studios PH.
UNILAB Incorporated. Enervon Multivitamins. Brought to you by Davies Paint Philippines Incorporated.
Our media partners, SparkUp.
Our community partners, Bataan Peninsula State University Society of Mechanical Engineering Students, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Cavite Chapter, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, De La Salle University, Dasmariñas, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Don Mariano Marcos Memorial State University, Midlo Union Campus Student Unit, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Emilio Aguinaldo College, Cavite, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Maragondon Branch,
Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Polytechnic University of the Philippines, Alfonso Campus, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, USTP Chapter, Junior Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Xavier University Chapter, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Technological Institute of the Philippines Student Unit, Manila, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Technological University of the Philippines Student Unit, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Camarines Norte State College Student Unit,
Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, 𝐂𝐭𝐲𝐿 de Muntinlupa Student Unit, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Bicol University Student Unit, Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Lyceum of the Philippines University, Cavite Student Chapter. Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, National University Student Unit. Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Pamantasan ng Lungsod ng Maynila Student Unit. Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Pangasinan State University Student Unit.
Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, PUP Student Unit. Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Sorsogon State University Student Unit, Sorsogon Chapter. Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Tarlac State University Student Chapter. Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, University of Batangas Student Chapter. UP Geodetic Engineering Club. Philippine Society of Mechanical Engineers, Sorsogon State University Student Unit, Sorsogon Chapter. And a special thanks to UP Mining Metallurgical and Materials Engineering Association Incorporation.
All right, and we are back. So, sir, here's our first question. What new technologies are now in use in producing biomass engineering in the Philippines?
So as to the new technology, so we have so many studies on the biodiesel production in the utilization of catalyst. Actually, our environmental engineering department of UP Diliman explored that. Also in the biomass field, we are using some similar parang additive to enhance the production or is the microbes. Then I think in the biodiesel, kasi yung forms ka talaga ng biomass axis, tatlo lang, biogas, biodiesel, bioethanol. And bioethanol is just an alcohol. So still, we can use an additive or catalyst to produce more.
Thank you, sir. For our next question, we have, how are these waste that you've mentioned collected from the communities?
Yeah, that's a good question actually. So actually, if it is in the rural area landscape, it is through cooperative. So in a rural area setting, they are a group of hog raisers and they are trying to pipe their waste into one pit to collect that. It's difficult kasi to collect manures or biomass in general because there will be biomass that is less dense and there are some biomass that are more dense such as manure. So it depends to the community, but if it is, for example, siguro para mas madali yung mga animal producing communities, naggrupo-grupo talaga sila. They have a common septic tank and that common septic tank can be used now as potential reactor. But as to the rice agriculture, yung rice straw, corn, parang instead of slash burning, what if kunin nila ilalahat, dry and it can be converted to pellets or direct combustion, thermochemical and chemical applications.
Okay. So, thank you for that, sir. I wonder how that works sa urban communities pala, sir. Like, sir, to follow up on that, so are there like, or not, maybe not in the Philippines, but are there any instances where this has worked in urban communities, like collection of biomass, or is it like never like any studies?
Actually, it was work with Thailand, Germany, and other Southeast Asian countries such as Malaysia. We can have also in Indonesia also, Myanmar, and other Southeast Asian countries.
Oh, so it's something we have to explore by the Philippines. Okay, sir. So thank you for that. So on to our next question, sir. What are some of the biggest biomass engineering plants here in the country?
As far as I know, there are 5 major biomass energy plants in the country. So we have one in the Luzon. So that's known as Biofarm. It was the largest biogas plant way back in the 1980s, but I don't know if it exists now. But they are mid-size, kumbaga, mid-size energy plant that are parang ganito yung context. If I have animal producing plant, yung waste is parang ginagamit ko into a biomass energy plant. Pero as to, ano yung pinakamalaki talaga? Wala talaga pinakamalaki. It's just a small to medium size.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Medyo malaki pa yung room for improvement.
For sure,
Yes,
for sure.
Ayan. Ayan. For our next question, sir, we have, what are the biggest engineering challenges that the technology is facing, and are there proposed solutions?
Actually, the greatest engineering challenge that as a mechanical engineer is how can we use, let's say, biomass into direct energy. So I will name it 3 siguro. For example, biogas. Biogas produces, as a gas. But if it is being used as a LPG, okay, ilagay natin sa LPG, it undergoes greater energy na naman. So, to liquefy that. If we can use directly as, in a gas engine, that will be preferred. So as an engineer siguro, how can we use a gas engine using biogas? Second is for the biodiesel. So biodiesel actually, its process is quite expensive. The plant's electrification process. It involves many, reagents, chemicals, wherein parang the final product is kakaunti lang at mahal pa. So parang yun ang parang challenges. As to the bioethanol, parang we are competing if to the food or energy. Kasi for example, yung mga parang tubo. I think if you're familiar with the sugar, so sa tarlac. Yung parang kasi yung sabi term parang it is used for sugar production, but it can be used also for bioethanol, and bioethanol can be used directly as fuel. So yun lang. Then as to how to address that, actually it has so many solutions being presented, proposed, but if we put in a large scale, it involves huge amount. So that's siguro yung problem, I think.
Pag-scale, dun nila kailangan. Yes.
Indeed. So speaking of the scale of bioenergy, bioenergy, here's the next question, sir. So, sir, how would you describe the scale of biomass, or like the state of biomass energy, like compared to all the other renewable energies in the Philippines, such as wind, solar, all that, water, etc.?
If I can rank from 1 to 10, really biomass is around 3. Let's say solar is 10. So it was understudied. Parang marami nang nag-study, but parang kaunti lang yung parang nag-i-interest, nag-i-invest. So I think this is the high time now to capitalize that. But if we look into the economic point of view, Parang nandoon yung bottleneck natin. Because as an example, you need 1 acre of raw materials, but you're just producing 10 liters. Hindi siya economical in the end. But if we employ those technologies that being researches, research published by our fellow scientists and engineers in the Philippines, I think it is possible naman. It just needs some seed from the government. It needs some encouragement from our national government.
Hey, thank you, sir.
Sir, related po dun sa previous question, ayan. Are there efforts being made by the Biomass Energy Center to encourage local governments to invest in the technology? Siguro aside dun sa nabanggit niyo kanina, sir, na medyo 19-something, yung tropa ba yun?
Yeah. Yung tropa. Actually, there are some efforts in the government per se. Pero we need to inform them the energy mix that the energy mix in the Philippines in general. Kaunti lang talaga yung biomass. They are claiming that marami na study. Yes, it's true. But saan na yun sila? So the point is, it's so sad that there are so many studies that technology, but when we trace it, saan na sila? Hindi natin makikita sa mapa. So gano'n na siguro. Parang we need to lobby the local government as well as our congressman to enhance the biofuels law in that case for funding.
Okay, okay, speaking of the scale, this is a bit of a personal question naman, sir. So I was trying to put it as not disgusting as possible, but how come we don't explore using human waste as biofuels naman, sir? Like we've been talking about like stuff from animals, but why is human waste not being as explored given like how much people we have in the country, sir?
Yeah, so thank you very much for that. Siguro, I will put into the perspective of energy balance. Mass in equals to mass out. We can have, let's say, our body is the generator of waste. So, in the animal producing, kumbaga yung mga cows, swine, yung input nila or yung kinakain nila is homogeneous, same lang. Pero sa tao is iba-iba. Pwedeng Starbucks sa umaga, Jollibee sa tanghali, at saka iba yung sa gabi. So what I meant to say now is, since we have non-homogeneous inputs, that can lead to, kumbaga, ang tawag nito, parang mahirap talagang i-produce because they are byproducts na hindi talaga possible for a biogas production.
Okay. Today I learned. So unless everybody eats the same stuff or like eats grass, no. I don't want to explore that anymore. I'm good. I enjoy eating a diversity of options. So yeah.
Good evening sa inyo mga audience. Ayan. For our next question, sir, we have, is it worth it for homes or small communities to invest or use biomass energy for their daily use of electricity? If yes, what specific steps would you recommend? So yun, siguro nabanggit nga rin kanina. Medyo...
Yeah, the response siguro dalawa yung options. If you are living in an area, that is 10 kilometers from the, in the main road, mayroon talaga yung, you to put up electricity or parang ilang ilog pa yung dadaanan mo to reach a city. So I can say biogas is the most recommended because it's safe because walang ibang, if it's there's no issue in the explosion, there's no issue in the pressurization, and it can be also used for direct combustion actually. So kukuha lang sila ng kahoy and you just put some reactor and that reactor produces heat. You can use you can put a turbine in that case. As a potential test options. So, and among others.
Okay. Thank you so much for that, sir. And moving on to this next question. Sir, what graduate study should I take if I want to pursue biomass energy engineering? Or like am I constrained to taking like only one master's, or can I take like a diversity of like different options?
Actually, as of the graduate studies, so you can pursue, mechanical masters in Master of Science in mechanical engineering. But with yours, you can have a course in the environmental engineering program or in the engineering program to learn the principles behind. But as an engineer, actually, we just need to know the principles because we are studying the outputs, di ba? As a mechanical engineer, parang we learn how it's being processed. Kumbaga, yung inputs na talaga yung parang something new to us. Actually, when I ventured this, I spent a lot in reading, and I tried to sit in some graduate course, and it helped me a lot. So parang it's just like what type of biomass input you want to study with, and what type of outputs do you want to pursue it. Parang gano'n lang, i-mix mo lang yung input, and you have the process, and then you have the output. Parang IPO approach lang. So, kung gusto mo na electricity, yung input mo is manure, so you will use the anaerobic digestion. Pero kung yung gusto mo is biodiesel, yung input mo is parang yung mga basura, so we can use pyrolysis pa kumbaga or thermochemical, and among others. Yun lang siguro.
Okay. Thank you for that, sir.
Siguro related din doon. Our next question is, what are the different jobs that a fresh grad of mechanical engineering can get in the field of biomass energy engineering?
Yeah, so thank you, Gab, for that question. It's actually still the same. If you are working in a power plant, you can be a plant operator, you're a plant maintenance, but still, I've said in my earlier statement that we can have a biomass power plant. And it just differ in a coal power plant because coal is the input. In a biomass power plant, biomass is the input. Parang ganun lang. So the line of work is still the same with other power plants.
Okay, sir. All right, thank you, sir. And moving on, this is our next question, sir. So I think what this person is trying to ask is, since our country is trying, or like all countries in general, trying to go carbon neutral, do you think it is feasible for biomass plants to eventually, like at any time, like in the near future, replace coal plants entirely?
Actually, I have a different approach or answer to that. Number one, even though all of the world are aiming to be carbon neutral, but we are way behind in the industrialization stage. So kumaga, it's been unfair na parang ngayon pa tayo mag-take off as an industrialized country, parang we need to switch from coal to renewable energy sources. Parang it's been unfair naman. But if the reason is the supply, we can replace it. But it takes some time because nowadays kasi is parang mas madaling construct of a coal or madali yung oil or yung diesel power plant in that case. So if we are considering biomass power plant, it needs more space, it needs more time, it needs more capital. So if we try to replace that, it takes 1 or 2 generations pa. Not outright.
So like as of right now, so it's still much more economical to rely on coal and all the regular fossil fuels.
Yeah, if the supplies will not be reduced, kaya pa natin natin i-supply, doon pa tayo. But by the time that the US, the UK, the Middle East will declare na wala na tayong fossil fuels, that's the time we will replace the source of energy.
So it's like more out of necessity talaga. So like if we really need to. Pero if we don't need to, it's not economical to change yet.
Yes. Correct.
Maybe in the future, makapag na-develop. Yeah. So yun. For our next question, sir, we have, what can the layperson or a common person do to improve the biomass energy industry here in the Philippines?
Para mahirap yan parang I have a different perspective on this question. As a layperson kasi is parang first is to recognize its potential. And second is kung ikaw ba parang environmentalist, parang gusto mo lahat parang i-recycle, parang circular economy yung utak mo talaga. Pero as a lay person siguro to improve the industry is to subscribe, promote, and to utilize kahit paano ka. I think meron naman mga biomass stove available in Lazada. What I mean to say is if meron tumakilig sa teknolohiya, meron mo produce. Parang term, I forgot that term, parang demand-based. If there's a demand, there is a need being created.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And this is our next question. So, sir, are there any current applications of biomass for stored energy, such as biomass fuel cells?
Actually, that is the current direction of the R&D. We can produce through different methods, but as to the storage, that is not the bottleneck. That is the challenge. So, yes, that's correct. There is a current application in the fuel cells, but it's not mature at this point in time. Still in experimental stage, and it needs to be validated more. And it needs to be, it needs more further study pa, and more funding in a case.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir. For our next question, medyo general in terms of a general energy production siya. So ayun. Our question is, do you think that our country is meeting every milestones in the Philippine energy plan, or are we falling behind?
Actually, I can say that we are falling behind because number one, actually, frankly, UST is not supporting this renewable energy plan. Number one, because it conflicts to the DOE's mandate. So parang there is a tug of war, actually. The UST fund the process lang. But the funding of the biomass energy enhancement, it should be under the Department of Energy. But Department of Energy nowadays, parang nag-focus na sa policy in the planning. So I can say that we are falling behind unless there's an intervention by our local officials, by our national officers such as Congress and Senate to act on it. But as I said earlier, kung hindi pa talaga need, hindi pa talaga parang necessity, wala talaga mangyayari.
Okay, sir. Thank you for that. And this is an interesting question. So, sir, what equipment or technologies are being used to mitigate the harmful environmental impacts that biomass energy plants produce?
Oh,
Yeah.
parang mahirap.
Yeah, it's a bit of a spicy one, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. I cannot say that. Hello?
Uh, what
can
is,
do
oh, whoops, it's Philippine internet, okay. Are we back? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Whose mic is that kaya? Oh, I think everything, it's good now, good now.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Yeah. I would like to say like this. In our power plant setting, we are using the hydrostatic precipitator, to mitigate kumbaga, the gases from power plant. So the same manner, we'll just use the same technology in a biomass energy plant. So same pa rin pa filtering devices, yung mga aside sa filtering, yung mga para ano ba tawag nito, parang carbon capturing technologies na off the shelves na yun. Marami naman sila. So, siguro yun lang yung answer ko, but I'm not into the, I'm going to be honest, I'm just a researcher, I'm not in a biogas plant. So, I cannot say on their behalf, ano talaga yung typical. Because it depends on the investment. It depends on ano yung talagang priority ng
Okay. But at least we know that there are ways naman, sir, to mitigate those effects. So I think that's a good to hear, sir. Thank you.
Related din pala sa previous question yung assistant. Yan.
Yeah.
The question is, what do you think about the perspective, yun nga, sir, na the energy from biomass still releases carbon into the atmosphere and is therefore still not as clean as other renewable sources of energy?
That's correct. I will tell you this. Even solar, even wind is not a clean energy. Because in producing that, wind turbine blades, in producing that PV panel, meron talagang waste na hindi talaga natin nakita in the product, but makikita natin during the production. Yeah, we can say that there is carbon in the atmosphere, but it's quite minimal rather than we are just letting it goes to the atmosphere. There is a decrease.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Oh, okay, sir. I think you can breathe them on this question. This one's a bit, well, it's not as spicy as the previous two. Pero, sir, what is your personal favorite source of biomass energy?
Ito. Parang hindi na spicy na.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
We take a break.
Yeah. My personal favorite actually is the biogas or the anaerobic digestion process, because my rationale for this is that marami kasing mga baboyan sa atin, di ba? Kapag may fiesta, may birthday, malaking leksyon. I don't know if it's applicable on your end, but the point here is that we have so many animal producing industries. And, I just want to help them that instead of throwing that manure, what if we can use that as, for heat and electricity? So it now help us to reduce or kasi ang typical kasi what if kung gagawa tayo ng biogas fuel lechon, parang instead of an open burning, yung lechon is parang yung gas na. But I don't know the smell, but based on my experience, wala talaga amoy yung biogas. Even is gas lang.
Really?
As to the bacteria, hindi na lang. Yun lang siguro.
Okay, sir. Well, do we have any more spicy questions left for us, Gab?
Yes. I think, ayan, ito. Since nakahingan naman na si sir. Ayan. For our next question, we have, sir, where do you see biomass in a future with other renewable sources?
Oh, yeah, it's quite it's quite spicy talaga. Yeah. I cannot say on behalf of the Department of Energy or on behalf of the USD, but I will state like this. In the future, if there's a need, if there's a necessity, and there's a shortage of the fossil fuels, in the near future, the biomass and industry can lead forward the same with the solar and wind energy. It's just that it needs, legislation, it needs a support from the politicians to move this forward. Kasi sabi kasi nila, walang pera sa biomass. Kasi this is just someone's waste becomes someone's energy. So parang it's really difficult to say that in this point in time. But we will move forward. But as to how far, how near, it's up to our position.
Okay. Oh boy, is this another question about smell? Yes, it is. Oh, hindi pala, never mind. Not. It's disregarding the smell, sir. Are there any reported health risks from the emissions of biogases?
Actually, there's none.
Oh, really?
There's none. Because if you are employing, proper technologies, for example, if you are having a carbon sequestration technologies or hydrogen sulfide sequestration technologies, wala talagang lalabas. It's just a carbon or a hydrogen. And they're non-reactive naman, di ba?
Oh, so it's really just the smell in the end, sir, no?
I think the smell is just a stigma. I can say with that.
Oh.
But actually, it is quite smelly when you are starting it.
Sanayan na lang talaga.
Like theoretically, if you get the entire population used to it.
Yeah.
Para perfume.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, okay, maybe. I hope no one's eating dinner while listening to this. Anyways.
Yeah. Ayan. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Siguro, singit ko lang, sir. Aside siguro sa health risk, siguro one thing people, I'm not sure if this is even a question. Pero nabanggit nyo rin kanina yun nga, as one thing that people should be concerned about probably is yung explosion nga, possible explosion. So they should be well educated about how to use it. So siguro a question from that would be enough na kaya na meron lang silang or like may pinanggagalingan lang silang source ng of how to use biomass energy, like siguro some source, or kailangan natitrain sila from a sort of a professional siguro?
Actually, it does not need to be trained. It's just that we just, teach them what will be the limitation of the materials. So parang it's just a matter of set of material. These materials are, subject to this amount of pressure. So if beyond that, it will be exploded. Ang problem kasi ng bio is that they try to underestimate that when you have that reactor or any, let's say general lang siguro, it is subtle matter.
Ingat lang talaga.
Yeah. Oh, and I think that's all the time we have for our Q&A. So I guess, sir, do you have any, like before we end the Q&A, do you have like any message that you'd like to say to our audience, like any aspiring engineers who want to work with biogas? Do you have any like final message you want to say to them?
Yeah, I would like to say to all of you that, but in the event that, Russia-Ukraine war will be worsened, there will be instances that, our fossil fuel will be depleting. So the question is, how can we, as a mechanical engineer in general, or the future mechanical engineer pala, how can we help them or help the government? Diba? So parang it's a high time to, ponder upon it, quality. It can be urban or rural. And as a future mechanical engineer, how can we influence our government, our lawmakers, to appreciate, to understand, and to recognize the need.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that, sir. And with that, we'll have to end our Q&A for
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Gab. Thank you, Ram, for that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yan. Thank you.